My name's Deke and I'm partner and marketing director of Ninja Division Publishing. And today we're going to go over the gameplay basics for our new game that is now on Kickstarter, Rail Raiders Infinite. Today we're going to be using a prototype setup. We're using a couple Super Dungeon Explorer tokens. The basic premise of Rail Raiders Infinite is you are a space bandit who is performing a train heist on the Interstellar Express. And your goal is to collect as many double dollars as you can before the train reaches the station and you have to jump off, otherwise get caught. Today we have Josie Oakley, who is going to be our raider, and every raider has a stat card with a special ability unique to them. Josie here, anytime she gets into a showdown, a fight with another player or another robot, she gets to roll up to 2 extra dice. And we have a small little train car. So, also for components, we have the loot deck, and then we have the long arm of the law deck, and we have the high noon deck. So, we'll get into what each of these decks do as we encounter them during the game. To start the demo, we have Josie, and she's already boarded the game, and she is sitting on the caboose here. When you activate a raider, the very first thing you do is you draw a high noon card. The high noon card represents the time it takes for the train to reach the station. So once the high noon deck is depleted, the train has reached the station and the raiders all have to jump off, and you count up how many double dollars you have managed to get off of the train. The high noon cards also have special effects that can affect the game and your game turn. So, first thing we're going to do is draw a high noon card, and we get Hands Up. Hands Up will allow Josie to reroll 1 die on every roll she makes this turn. So we're just going to keep that right in front of us so that we don't forget what Josie's going to do during her turn. Now, Josie, as a raider, she gets to make 3 actions during a turn. Your choice of actions are move, and when you move, you can move to 1 adjacent train car. You can engage in a showdown. Right now, she doesn't actually have anybody to fight, but we will resolve that soon. Or you can search. When you're on a train car, there will be loot tokens, and you can search the loot tokens, and when you flip over a loot token, there will be a number on that token on how many loot cards you get to draw. So, you can take 3 actions, but you can only take the same action 2 times. So you could, for instance, move, and then search, or move, do a showdown, move again, but you could not move 3 times. So we're going to start by having Josie move into this adjacent train car. You'll see here that the train car is face down. You can only see the top of it. That's because you don't actually know what's inside of the train car. This helps keep the game random. You don't necessarily know where the best train cars with the most loot are going to be. So, first thing she's going to do is move in, and she's going to choose to go into the train car. So, this is a passenger car. Like I said, this is a prototype, so even though it says caboose, we're going to go by the art and use the passenger car. So, she has now moved in. So, first, right here is how many long arm of the law cards that the player needs to draw for entering this train car. So, first we're going to draw, our first one is a deputy. So this, you put 1 deputy lawbot on the train car. So, we have our deputy lawbot, and she has encountered her first deputy that she's going to have to fight. So, her second card is Get to the Station. Discard the top card of the high noon deck. So this basically represents the lawbot telling the engineer to speed up the train so that it gets to the station faster, so that hopefully the raiders can get captured. So we're going to discard another high noon card, and that's going to make it so that the train is effectively moving faster and we have less time to gather loot. Now there are 4 loot tokens that are in this train car. So we're going to place the 4 loot tokens. They can just be anywhere on the train car. Doesn't really matter. Now for this, we're using some Super Dungeon Explorer Princess coins, but once we have the final game, you'll have cool custom tokens. Okay, so Josie has now finished her first action, which is to move. Okay, now obviously she would like to search and start getting some double dollars. Unfortunately, when there is a law bot on a train car, first you have to deal with the law bot before you can search. So, her next action is going to be a showdown. Now, in a showdown, you use poker dice to resolve showdowns. So, normally, since we would have multiple players, I would roll for Josie's, and then the person to my left would roll for the law bot. Now, I'm going to be rolling for both in this case. Anytime you make a roll, you roll 5 dice, and all the dice are poker dice, so they have a 10, jack, queen, king, and a wild. And the wild, or a joker, you can turn to be anything you want it to be. Now, Josie also has a special ability that makes it so that anytime there's still loot in a train car, if she gets in a showdown, she gets to re-roll up to 2 of the dice. Plus, I have my high noon card, so she's going to get to re-roll an additional dice. So Josie pretty much has the deck stacked in her favor this time. We might have had an ace up our sleeve. So, first, we're going to have Josie roll. So, you always roll 5 dice. There are different game modifiers that sometimes will make it so you get to roll more. So Josie's going to roll. And so this is a pretty good roll here. So she's got a 10, a jack, a king, and 2 jokers. So I'm going to turn these jokers into a queen and an ace and make a straight. Now I'm going to, so this is Josie's roll. Now I'm going to roll for the law bot. Okay, so looks like he pulled 3 of a kind. Okay, so a straight beats 3 of a kind. So Josie has won the fight. So she has successfully destroyed the law bot. Fortunately, law bots, being robots, are also worth some double dollars, as you can harvest a few of their components for scrap. So she's going to earn a double dollar token, and you just keep that right next to your card there. The player who has the most double dollar tokens will win the game. Okay, so that was Josie's second action. Now she gets to have a third action. And for this, she is now going to search. So, with a search action, you can reveal 1 token. She's going to reveal 1 token, and it has 2. So she's going to get to draw 2 loot cards. Okay? So her first loot card is a fancy 6 gun. So this is a special weapon that she can use. She can actually equip it to herself that will allow her to re-roll a die in any showdowns. So you can only have 1 piece of loot equipped, and so she's going to stick that weapon there. And now for her second card, she gets small time. And small time gets her another double dollar token. So, Josie now, in her turn, she has done all 3 actions. She has earned a fancy 6 gun, and she has earned 2 double dollar tokens. And so her turn is now over, and play now moves to the player on the left. That is the core gameplay for Rail Raiders. Play will continue around until everyone's had a turn, and then everybody rolls to see who will start the next round. Once the high noon deck is exhausted, then the train has reached the station. All of the raiders have to leap off, and you count up who got the most double dollar tokens. The person who got the most wins. Rail Raiders Infinite is currently on Kickstarter. We would appreciate your support. Go and check it out.